Hi everybody, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build here on the wilder side of life. And I don't know about you guys, but it's been a bit wild and wet and rainy and awful here at the moment. So today we've got something again a little bit different. This is a fairy tale cottage, and I think I got the inspiration from I think I was looking through some pictures of houses from like old English style houses, and at the moment what I'm trying to do is I've got the basic outside worked out. I'm just trying to sort the floor plan inside, and I think we're nearly there. The bathroom changes a little bit. I had an idea of doing a Jack and Jill bathroom with a bathtub inset into an alcove and some robes in the bedrooms, but we changed that a little bit. You'll see it when it comes up. So now working on the roof, I really wanted to make it look like it was one of those really old-fashioned houses from fairy tales. So you need really tall, pointy, sort of steeple type roofs and lots of interesting things on the roof. But first, I kind of wanted to get a look or an idea of how the outside of the house would look, so I could get the roof pattern right, and I could get all the little things that you put on the roof to make it look like that fairy tale house right as well. Now what I wanted to do was to put a little archway at the front door, and I start with this, but you'll see in a little minute I change it. And that's I've made that's a pseudo fireplace because it doesn't actually appear as any kind of fireplace inside, but by sizing them up and stacking them, it made a really cute looking fireplace from the outside. And I did need that extra one, and there they are on top of something that will be a fireplace inside, and they've been sized down. So it's you don't just have to use the items as they are. They don't just use them sized up, always give them a look sized down, because they may fit your look a little bit better. So we're moving right along, and I'm trying to get a real feel for how a cottage that would have been created in a air quotes fairy tale style world, what sort of exterior finishes it might have had, I should say. So what we're doing here is looking at part of it. My idea was that part of it was an older cottage and that it might have been added on to over the years. So the central bit ends up being a stone, and the two bits off the side end up looking like later additions, I should say, that are made of something else. So I think we changed the stone a couple of times to get it right. I think the dark stone wasn't right, so we go with the lighter stone, and I'm much happier with that. I did try the siding, and whilst I like that, I think I change it in a little bit for something that looks a little bit more like the mud framed wallpaper. And again, these windows will change just because I was going for something that was a little more like it was made of wood and a little less modern. Those windows look quite like they're quite modern and would have been crafted in modern times, and I really wanted it to have that ye olde feel. And I think I make that bump out on the right side, I make that a couple of walls smaller as well. So now I'm doing, as you can see, a little bit of landscaping, and I really wanted it to feel like it was surrounded by forest, but not too thick. Sort of, I had in my mind something like from the live action movie Cinderella. Her house had a lot of beautiful trees and things around it, but it wasn't thickly wooded in or anything like that. So trying to make the gardens though a little bit overrun and a little bit wild. And you can see I've actually created a little bit of a driveway there, but not something paved like a car would drive over, more like a couple of sets of wagon wheel tracks sort of going around to the side of the house. And I've got lots of, you know, flowers, different colours, all sort of squashed in on top of each other so that we get a really lush and unruly sort of feel garden. Quick check of the screenshot so I can see what's going on there. Probably should have edited that out. Hope you enjoyed the quick look. And this side a little more formal, just to finish it off, because I wasn't really happy with putting too many flowers around it, because too many items in the area is going to create a lot of lag for some people's computers, and I did want for people to have the, you know, be able to use this you know, on a lot of computers. And you can see there I've placed placed plants up on the foundation, and you can do that without lifting them up. They'll do it automatically, and popping a few little plants in there sort of changes the whole landscape of the garden without having to change the landscape of the actual ground. And I'm looking for an item for the garden, I think. We've laid out these little plots, but what I was looking for was to see if we had the actual grown plants that we could stick in there. I didn't find them. I did, however, find some trees. So we do pop a few little fruit trees in just a second, so that you have a house that's not just pretty to look at, but it basically can start you off as well. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer though, this uses items for all of the packs, so if you don't have them, you may have to replace some of the items. And don't forget, if you're going to install it in your house or in your world, you do need to install it with the Move Objects cheat on. Otherwise, all of the items that have been lifted up, like you saw that watering can onto the rail, they'll all end up on the ground or inside cupboards, things like that. So it's a good tip if you've downloaded any content from the gallery, always install it or place it in your world with the Move Objects cheat on so that you don't lose the placement of those items. And I think we're still just dealing with windows, but I'm moving towards moving that bump out in a couple of spaces, just because I think, again, the Fairytale Cottage, you want it to feel a little bit cramped for space. They didn't have huge luxurious mansions. Even if you go and look at the mansions, for example, from that movie that I mentioned, which was Cinderella, even though it was a mansion, the rooms didn't look huge and they always look overly cluttered. And you can achieve that by making the rooms themselves smaller so that the amount of items that you have in them you know, take up more of the available space. So just working on the floor layout up here, as you can see, making sure that we have all of the appropriate bits and pieces, and we do turn that into, it still does remain a Jack and Jill bathroom, but it doesn't have, as I said earlier, the bathtub in that little alcove. Downstairs, off the kitchen, we have a laundry, a storeroom, and another little bathroom. We would call it a powder room just because it's a toilet and a sink and not a bathtub or a shower. And there you go, you can see that wall comes in, everything gets moved, and we still have that beautiful little fireplace inside where we can cozy up in front of to drink our hot cocoa and talk about our latest fairy tale adventures. I had a lot of fun building this house, and it took a lot longer than I normally would spend on houses. I think I spent about 5.5 hours building this. So, you know, I've cut out in this video, I've cut out the bathrooms for you because you know, a bathroom's a bathroom, but I have included them in the screenshots. So now we started working on the inside, and I was trying to get a feel for what a house might have, and I went with these beautiful rustic looking floor, what do you call them, planks. They don't look like they're quite finished. They look like, if it was me, I'd probably be tripping over every second plank. They look quite rough and rustic, and I really, really loved the sort of rich chocolate and deeper red tones in them. So as I said, it was a lot of fun for me to build. I had a lot of fun decorating with this. The only thing that we did here is that we really made, and you can see I'm just changing this wallpaper to something that might look more appropriate on an older home rather than that, you know, the siding, because I think that was too modern. The only thing that we have that's really modern in here is probably the kitchen, and obviously the baths. You know, you do have to have a bathtub or something for your Sims to have their, you know, wash themselves in. And so we're doing the kitchen. This is a really cute, I thought, breakfast bar idea with a little with the using those what do you call them, the, I don't even know what they're called, the fancy trim that replaces the wall, and then the same posts as we use outside. So it's bringing a little bit of that fancy outside flavour to the inside. I love this kitchen. I would love it to be in my house. It looks like you could do all of your cooking there, but it's quite compact. So there's not a whole lot of working space for your Sims, but there are still plenty of bench spaces where they can place food, or working spaces for them to, you know, chop food up and stuff like that. So I love that little fireplace, bringing a hint of the stone that we used outside into the inside. Obviously, it's not the same pattern, and boy, do I wish we could use the wallpaper to paint things like that stone fireplace and foundations, guys. You know, if we could only use, we used to be able to do that in, I'm sure, the Sims 3 and the Sims 2, we could do that. But we can't in this one. So, and I'm really, really sad that we can't, because it just made such a slick look to your house and made it so elegant. Yeah, it wouldn't go there, so we put it out there on the benches. So I'm just looking for, oh, this is doing the bathroom and the storeroom. So we've got essentially what looks like a pantry off the kitchen here, a walk-in pantry, so where your Sim would probably, your Sim family would keep all of their, you know, storage items and things like that. So as well as the little powder room, we've also got the laundry off the kitchen, which is where it's located in a lot of houses, and then behind the laundry we've got a lovely little storeroom. Now they could be opened up to be another room for your Sims if you needed it. If you don't have the laundry day pack, you could as easily put it somewhere else. And this is, you know, working on stuff so that this looks like a room that would be the junk room, where, and as you can see, I'd forgotten to put my move objects cheat on. And just, you know, filling it full of the things that you're likely to see in storerooms, boxes and crates and chests. Particularly the chests I really love, you know, being the fairy tale style house or the little medieval style house. You would expect lots of unusual chests and things like that to be in there. So I really, really love the idea of having this little, almost hidden storeroom where lots of items could be stashed away, and, you know, potentially used, like with that shelf that comes with the laundry day pack. love it with the hangers on it, where you could be, hanging your clothes that are drying, shirts, dress shirts, little frocks that you can't iron or whatever. And we've chosen our little dining table round. It's a 6-seater. There is bed space for 6 Sims at this point in this house. So, and just having a little bit of trying to get them to match without being disappearing on that floor, because I really love the the way that, oh, excuse my squeaky chair as I move a little bit. I really love the, those particular floor panels, the planks, and I didn't want to change them, so I changed out the chair. And just getting a nice little seating area for something that's a little more formal and a little less or not too modern. And I think I do away with this console table in the end. It just became a little bit too fussy, but a couple of the items that I found, I thought, oh, that would go really cute in the garden. And I don't know about you, but I do that a lot. I see an item that I think, oh, this should go over there, so I stick it into that room and then reposition it a little bit later as it comes up. So a nice little, there's plenty of skill building items in here. There's plenty of bookcases. We actually have a little, when I say the kitchen's the only modern thing, we actually have a computer area, so a study upstairs, because despite, this being an actual, you know, an old-fashioned style house, your Sims have still got to do, their skill building items. They'll still want to be able to chat to their friends. They'll still want to be able to get a job and things like that, and your phone just won't be enough. And putting some items on these shelves, because to make it look like a real mantelpiece. And I loved those stuff. They are from the Pets, the Cats and Dogs pack, and you will see in just a minute I get rid of one of those hall stands because I realised that I've forgotten to put a door into what should be the master bedroom, or what I would use as the master bedroom. And again, what I like to do is have my master bedroom on the ground floor, just because I lose my Sims. And even though you can click on their portraits to find them, I'm always going, where have they gone now? So that's why I put my master bedrooms on the ground floor. And getting something that looks a little bit medieval. I think I do away with a couple of those photos though. I love that set of pictures. I love how they, they all match. And I've put photos on the floor, photos on the wall that I'm eventually going to take down and put, as you see, a door there to go into the bedroom. And I put one of those stands back. And you can see there, you can make plant decorations out of different things. It's a little wicker basket. This is quite, I guess you would call it a feminine style master bedroom, because it's pink, and I don't like to be, sexist or anything like that. I don't like to be anythingness, but a lot of, in the old-fashioned houses, you'll see a lot of their furniture is very frilly and quite pastel. There's, you would have the stronger colours out in the main areas, and then bedrooms were, softer, and it was quite acceptable to have, a pink or pale blue room for a master bedroom, regardless of the gender of the people who were sleeping there. And I don't show you the build there, but there is a bathroom off to the side of the master bedroom. So now we're upstairs, and we're on to our, I painted the outside when I was doing the walls. We are on to our upstairs bedrooms and the bathroom upstairs and this little study nook upstairs. And I tried to make this room the same as this is a sort of an older children's room, possibly potentially a teenager's room, but I tried to make it very gender neutral with the colours. So it's this beautiful teal green colour with the matchy on the beds. And we've, put a bit of colour in via putting the artwork on the walls. So a little bit stronger colours, but still toning in with the beautiful teal green colour. But again, providing a little bit brighter or a little bit more intense colour. And of course, you have to have greenery in there to keep those tiny little rooms feeling fresh. This room is set up as a child's bedroom, so it's got a toddler bed and a crib, and it's in these bright, again, gender neutral colours with the bright orange and gold and yellow. Lots of toys, lots of really cute stuff on, the lights that keep the monsters away, and lots of the really cute stuff for children, all in that bright orange. And I did go a little bit overboard with the rugs, and you'll be happy to know that I took them all away again, except for one. So on to the actual study nook now, and again, I've tried to keep it looking not as modern as you possibly can. So I've only put a little laptop there. I've kept the wood carried through into the furniture, so it still looks quite oh, excuse me, trying to twirl the walls around and not doing very well. But as you can see, we've included, I love those couches from the pets, the dogs and cats pack, and they can be used on their own or made into an L-shaped couch like I have here, which I think is really cute. Just adding a little bit of decoration into that open void area, just to make sure that not only have we made it look more cluttered, but that your Sims still like going up the stairs and still think it's nice to look at. And here I've turned it to night so that I can test for dark areas, because what I want to do is to make it still feel cozy, and but it also is a great way to place things like your outdoor lights if you are going to have them. And I've really tried to make this quite the fairy tale sort of cottage. So there's lots of little lights in the garden, and lots of lights on the exterior of the house. So it will look just as pretty at night time as what I think it does in the daytime. I really love how this came up. I think it's a super cute little house, and I'm actually thinking about doing a little bit of a let's play with it. So we're on to the screenshots. Here's our kitchen, our little dining area, and not included in what I showed you, I included a few more clutter items and just, polished and finessed it up a little bit. The master bedroom, this is the master bathroom, our little laundry room with all its bibs and bobs in it, and the storeroom. Looking up towards the second story, up those stairs, our little computer nook, our smaller children's room, and the Jack and Jill bathroom between those two rooms, our older children's room, and if you want to recreate it yourself, the floor plan. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this speed build. Have an awesome day.